The version of Donald Trump that I call Downer Trump showed up yesterday in the Rose Garden to sign an executive order about police departments, directing police departments to stop using chokeholds. And Donald Trump did look very, very unwell. And he said things that made no sense whatsoever. So this again raised questions about whether Donald Trump is suffering the side effects of some illness, side effects of medication, cognitive decline, something else that we can't seem to put a finger on. We discussed yesterday on the bonus show extensively the question of police using chokeholds and the reality that the priority should be, rather than a list of tactics that police can and can't use, the focus should be on training officers to de-escalate situations so that chokeholds aren't even in the picture. But we talked about that yesterday. Right now, I want to focus on the absolute implosion of Donald Trump during this Rose Garden statement. Here is Donald Trump saying that we have developed a vaccine for AIDS. Now, that's not true. We have not developed a vaccine for AIDS. And Trump, when he says it, gets that look on his face where he seems to understand that he said something wrong, but he almost is lost and doesn't know what he said. It was like that time where he did the oranges of the investigation thing, and he kind of tries to back it up and mumbles a few things. Take a look at this.
They have come up with things, and they've come up with many other cures and therapeutics over the years. These are the people, the best, the smartest, the most brilliant anywhere. And they've come up with the AIDS vaccine. They've come up with, or the AIDS, and as you know, there's various things, and now various companies are involved. But the therapeutic for AIDS was a death sentence, and now people live a life with a pill. It's an incredible thing. The Ebola vaccine.
So that same confusion happened when Trump repeatedly said he wanted to find out the oranges, the citrus fruit of an investigation. He said it twice, and he had a look where he knew he was saying something that didn't make sense, but he almost couldn't even parse it in his own mind. It didn't get any better. During this same event, Donald Trump seemed to lose his train of thought. This is another pattern we've seen where he forgets what he's talking about. He will just look at someone and say, right? You know what I'm talking about, don't you? We've seen this before. This time he looks into the audience and he says, right, Tim, we're going to pursue things very strongly. You can tell if you're watching that Trump doesn't seem lucid when you look at his face right when this is happening. Take a look.
And I gave a commitment to all of those families today with Senator Tim Scott and Attorney General Bill Barr. We are going to pursue what we said. We will be pursuing it, and we will be pursuing it strongly, Tim, right? Okay.
Wacky stuff. At another moment, Donald Trump was talking about putting down the protesters by using the National Guard. And of course, putting down is certainly not the most humane language to use. Trump bragging about how strongly the protesters were handled.
And your federal government is ready, willing, and able to help, as we did in Minneapolis after it got out of control for 4 days. We sent in representatives, commonly known as the National Guard, and it was all put down very quickly. We're willing to help. We're willing to help in Seattle. We're willing to help anywhere you want.
So when there are protests against police brutality and your response is to brag about how much force you directed be used against the protesters, something is not quite getting through. Then Donald Trump absolutely bizarrely interjecting a complete non sequitur about school choice being the civil rights issue of our time. Take a look at this.
We're fighting for school choice, which really is the civil rights of all time in this country. Frankly, school choice is the civil rights statement of the year.
So understand that when Republicans talk about school choice, what they really mean is defund public schools, weaken public schools, often with voucher programs, which go to charter schools, which then continues the vicious cycle of worsening public schools because you've just pulled money from them. This is a favorite of Republicans. Say public education is bad. Of course, it's underfunded. Use that to justify taking more money out of public education, which makes it worse so that then they can again justify, look at how bad public education is. We've got to do more charter schools and private schools. It's an old trope from Republicans. And then lastly here, another one of these moments where Donald Trump lists different races and ethnicities and incorrectly claims that almost everybody had a high-paying job before the coronavirus hit.
That's for almost every group, including Black, Hispanic, Asian, women, young people, old people, young people without a high school diploma. Every group. Everybody was thrilled. Everybody had just about high-paying jobs. Our country was never in a better position, and we were planning on massive growth. It was happening. It was already there.
So one of the things we've seen in terms of job creation before coronavirus hit was that while the jobs numbers were good, and I have no problem admitting that, a lot of the jobs being created were what we call BS jobs, not medium or high wage jobs, but low wage jobs, or sometimes jobs that aren't even really jobs. They're contractor positions. And this is a common deception that we are hearing from the right. So there it is, a combination of Donald Trump looking and sounding confused, making verifiably false claims, and the mood in the audience, a combination of quiet confusion, horror, but also blind loyalty, the people that see this and at least tell themselves that everything is completely fine. So we're going to be following up on this on our Instagram page. If you're not following the show on Instagram, please do, at David Pakman Show. And in fact, this is getting so bad that it has gone onto Fox News talking about the Trump health situation, a Republican group now targeting Trump around health concerns. So this is important that it is broken past just certain areas, and even elements of the right are now talking about Trump's health and being put in a position to have to defend it. We'll get to that after the interview today.